Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Party Invite Show. I'm your host, Tegan. This is our 79th episode, the 79th of them all, you know? I am joined today by Chris over here.
Hello.
Sovereign Sid over here. Vilos over here.
That's me.
The four of us are Party Invite Show. We are only part of the community, though. We have a wonderful community of people who play together, discuss games, and just enjoy anything gaming related. You can find all of our content and all that stuff through our website at partyinvite.games because we would love to have you. We talk about a lot of games. We guarantee that we can find you somebody for multiplayer. And on our website, Vilos also writes blogs, which I usually plug at the end of the show, but I want to plug now because, man, recommendations out the wazoo. That's what I'm saying. We've talked about a lot of indie games in the community this week. We've got a couple up here. I'm excited to hear what you're going to talk about, Vilos. But we, here on the Party Invite Show, bring you a show in two parts. We have the podcast segment, which begins now, followed by the game stream. But today we're extra complicated. In addition to the drop, which is our newsy bits, and what we've been playing, where we each talk about everything since last week that we've touched. Our game stream this week will actually be two games. We're going to finish up Shredder's Revenge from the subathon a few weeks ago. We only have a couple levels of that, so that should go by quick. And then after that, Vilos and Chris are going to play, I almost said the wrong one. They're going to play Escape Academy. Not Ape Escape Academy, just Escape Academy.
Right.
An escape room game that I'm really excited to see. It's a co-op game. We're going to be watching Vilos' perspective, so stick around for that. But let's limber ourselves up a little bit. Let's start with the drop. The drop this week is it's all the newsy bits, our favorite things out of the news that we wanted to talk about. It's not comprehensive. It's not a deep dive. It's just a short little look at the things that we care about and that got us excited. So, who do we start with here? You know what? I'll start with one because we just talked about indie games. The only thing I've got on my list is an indie game that I just discovered. It doesn't come out until November, but it is called Ship of Fools. One of you guys shared this, I think. It's murky, but someone
Sounds
in our...
like a U game, though.
Oh, yeah. Certainly somebody in our community did, so I wanted to mention it here. Ship of Fools is very similar to... Lovers in a Dangerous Space-Time. It is a co-op-centric game. It is an only co-op. There's no single player. And in this one, it is a roguelike. So the interesting thing about that is most roguelikes that have co-op is the secondary thing. Even in Lovers in a Dangerous Space-Time, I think technically you could consider that a roguelike, but barely. Not really. It's much more co-op, much less roguelike. Well, this is both of those things. The whole point is that you have a ship that you're sailing the deadly seas on with your crew of up to 4, and you maybe steer the ship, it's unclear, but you certainly man the cannons to shoot enemies all around you, not the least of which is a laser shooting crab of some sort. That was clearly a boss. But that one looked really cool. Actually, you know what? I had a video here for it. Let's see if this will play real quick.
You got this.
I got this. Thank you. But that is Ship of Fools. That's going to come out November 22nd of this year.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. That looks really cool. Now that I'm thinking about it, there was another co-op game that was just announced that looks very cool as well, and now I need to find it. It's by the people that did Owlboy. I just shared it the other day.
Yes, Vikings on
trampolines. I think.
Yes.
I could pull up if you wanted to talk about that. I could find a trailer while you're speaking. But lots of indies this week. We've been working on our backlogs. We're looking forward to things that are coming out later this year, and then we've had a lot of like Nintendo news. I mean, I know Pokemon and Splatoon have been talked about a whole lot here, as well as Multiversus, which we will talk a little bit more about. But this week, I've just seen a lot of indie news, either people being excited or things being announced for the first time, and it's exciting. So I'm I haven't played. I don't know. I haven't like dove into indie news here in a little while, so it's fun to have just a good refresher all at once. There's another game called Overloop that I'll probably talk about next week because it releases next week. Never heard of it before, but it has like cool pixel art as well. It's not as pristine as Owlboy and the Vikings on trampolines, but it's more grimy like Carrion. It's got a lot of death in it, but that's Overloop, and I'll talk about that next week.
Yeah, that Vikings on trampolines. I dropped a link in there, Thomas. It should be just called Vikings.
Yes,
One to click
sir.
on. But yeah, it's made by the people that made Owlboy. It looks like insanely cool pixel art. Um, it looks like a old arcade game that you would be like, man, I want to play that with a bunch of friends. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I
Oh
want to
yeah.
be at the 4-player cabinet playing that with friends. And yeah, Owlboy was very cool. I never finished it because that game is difficult.
Yeah.
Um,
So I heard.
but Owlboy is very cool. So I'm excited for Vikings with trampolines
Oh.
and the fact that it's co-op. The more co-opy things we can get, I'm here for it.
Mhm.
Especially this kind of stuff, like indie, like really fun pixel art graphic stuff. Like, give me more of that. I really liked Children of Morta, which was a multiplayer kind of like dungeon crawler
Mhm.
or like a co-op thing that you could do.
And
But
it,
this
it
is
just feels
like,
like it's supposed to be couch co-op, even if you just play it
yeah,
online. It feels like couch co-op.
yes, and it just looks fun. You're constantly bouncing, which is just sounds silly and ridiculous and like a great time.
The
But
levels are amazing.
yeah, the
Yeah.
artwork is crazy. Which I mean they were known for when they were doing um uh, Owlboy and stuff. But looks like there's mini games and it's all of the things you want in a co-op game.
True that.
So man, excited to check that out when it finally drops. But um,
10
co-op
years
games, they're
ago.
coming back.
Yeah. Full swing. Let's see.
This
So
has very like heave ho energy.
yeah.
Like that same
Yeah.
kind of chaos that you get from like heave ho.
Yeah.
Do we have the release date on that by chance? Let's see. I mean, the debut trailer just came out like 2 days ago, so I would be surprised if I clicked around if I did find a release date. Honestly, they'd be smarter if they just didn't tell us until they're ready. But that looks great.
It
Like
just
you,
says coming soon.
cool. Yeah, it said
TM.
the end of that said wish list on Steam. So yeah, coming soon to him. That looks cool. Owlboy, for anybody who doesn't know, if for yeah, did I say that right? For anybody
Yeah.
who doesn't know, um, Owlboy is a pretty difficult, beautiful pixel art game. I would compare the level of quality of pixel art to the Ori games. They're completely different art styles, but the quality of environments and the difficulty are very similar to each other. Ori might be harder, but I'm not sure. I haven't played either one myself, but definitely not something to sleep on. So that's Owlboy I'm talking about, and Vikings on trampolines is what Chris was just talking about. Same creators, so that's exciting. Add it to the list of indies. Who
Will
do
it be
we?
on Game?
What'd you say?
I said, will it be on Game Pass?
It's a good question. I mean, it'll be on your Steam Deck probably.
Hey,
Uh,
think about that.
yeah. Have you tried or do you know? I guess is the important thing. If there are any limitations to playing co-op games like that on the Steam Deck versus just playing on your PC? I haven't heard
Honest,
anything about that.
as far as I have experienced, co-op is just it's the same experience as playing on a computer. Like I haven't had any cross-platform like discrepancies or anything like that, trying to connect with anybody or anything like that. So the only real like drawback to having a Steam Deck is it's contingent on your internet connection. So for instance, I can't play multiplayer games at work at the mall because we got, crappy internet at the mall.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
like if I wanted to play something, if I wanted to like get out of my office, which is a new office now, by the way, I'm still setting it up. But if I wanted to get out of my office and play something from my Steam catalog, like on the couch or something, then it'll go off of my internet, which is, pretty good for Wi-Fi. and I'd still get like the same quality experience.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's see. Chris and Sav, both of you have stuff that we're going to talk about and what we've been playing. So Sav, let's start with you. You can. Do you want to talk about the Twitch changes?
Yeah, sure. So, one of the previous podcasts, I don't know if it was last week's, but it was pretty recently. I mentioned that I was going to TwitchCon, which is super duper exciting. I got tickets day one after they went on sale, because like you got to if you want to go.
Yeah.
But a lot of people were kind of like hesitant about going just because their health policy was amiss. They weren't mandating masks or proof of vaccination or whatever. Um, well, they've since changed that, like I knew they would. So they have changed it so that you have to either provide proof of vaccination or a negative COVID test within, I think, 72 hours is the time frame. And then also, all indoor spaces will be required to be wearing masks. So there's a mask mandate for
Oh,
indoor
really?
spaces. hmm so outdoor spaces, you're fine to not have a mask. So like the Twitch party, which I guess takes place outdoors, and all of the outdoor like activities and food spaces and stuff, you don't need one. But indoor spaces for panels and all that whatnot, anytime you're indoors, you have to have a mask on, which is great, honestly. Like, I mean, that's the kind of stuff that conventions should be doing if they're happening at all, because we want everybody to be safe and not get COVID and be immunocompromised and die. So, yeah, I'm really, really happy that they changed it. I knew they would, which is why I got my ticket when I did, because I didn't want to scramble last minute for a ticket. And naturally, it disappointed some of the internet, those people. Um, but you know what? If you don't like it, don't come. Be sick somewhere else. I don't care.
I was talking in Discord a couple weeks ago. I went to a concert um, at this big arena, and it was a sold out show. And the last time I went, the only other time I've been to that arena, we're actually going again this weekend, uh, was for another pretty big concert. It was just after the mask mandate had been lifted, so we went to the show. We weren't really close. Well, whatever. The details don't matter. We went to the show, and I didn't wear a mask, and I immediately got sick. I had a sore throat for like a week and a half, and it was miserable. Because I remember it was difficult to even podcast. Like, yeah, that was not fun. So this time I was like, you know what? I'm just going to take my mask with me, and at least when I walk around, when I'm near everybody, I'll wear one. Well, I haven't worn a mask now for like many months, and it was hot. It was in the middle of our heat wave. So I put it on, and I was like, oh, I cannot wear this. It is too hot. This mask I have is too hot. So I was looking around for recommendations for nerdy masks that are a little less claustrophobic. That's not the right word, but when I was wearing masks all the time, no problem. But now that I haven't worn one in a while, being in a hot environment was tough. So I got to find something. I've got to find a suggestion. So if anybody out there has one, drop it in our community somewhere, because I'd love to have something nerdy to, rep my nerd side, but still be able to breathe when I'm inside. Because
This might be actually perfect for you then. I'm not sure when the next time they're going to have them available, but the Razer Zephyr, it's got plenty of like breathing face space, and it's Razer, so it's going to have that black and green aesthetic and RGB for no reason. But it'll be perfect for you because you're going to be at music festivals wearing it and stuff.
yeah,
So
and I'm almost more care about looking good because it's an accessory, So if it keeps me from getting sick, great. But I would be interested in that. Also, Vilas, did you make up that link? Did you just?
Yes, it's not real.
oh my god, the internet law, you can't do that. Oh, well, that's on TV. Never mind.
It actually didn't go anywhere, so that's the best part.
That's
Ooh, let's
funny.
claim that. Hold on,
Vilas is over here dropping fake URLs in chat. Usually he's the guy who's like, all right, let's not get get anybody sick by sending them somewhere online where there's a virus, But anyway,
But yeah, that's all I have on that. Tickets are still on sale. If you want to grab any, go to the appropriate website. I just googled TwitchCon tickets, y'all. Like,
lol.
so I'm sure it's like Twitch, .com.
The party one I just looked at, it was like either $229 or $299.
$229 is the price that I got. I'm not sure if
biggest
they've
package,
risen,
so.
but it was $229, and that comes with everything. and then including the party pass. You're basically paying $100 for the party pass because the next one below it is $129.
At first, I
Yeah.
thought you were just saying that was the price for the Razer mask. I was like, yo, I could buy it
No, the Razor Mask is 100, I think.
as long
I
as it's
think.
comfortable. Well, that's funny.
Yeah, it's expensive for sure though.
Founders pack.
But it's versatile. You can actually put it in your computer and it works as a hard drive.
I would expect Razer to do that shit.
That would be cool, right? If you had like a little solid state in there, as long as it wasn't going to get broken. It's like having it's the extreme version, the unnecessary version of having a USB stick on your keychain.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So what's next?
Yeah. So that is the Twitch policy. That's yeah, you were right. You called it that they would change it.
Mm-hmm.
So good on you.
Right. I have a whole hashtag about it.
Let's see. Then I think Carlo Vilas, do we want to bounce back to you on
Sure.
literally any of this stuff?
Yeah, I've got a bunch of little things here, but I can do them all in a very timely fashion once I'm focused up here.
Once your
Something like
once your camera comes back, yeah.
All right, so two minor delays that really aren't delays because both games didn't have official dates, but both were like vaguely 2022. Metal Slug Tactics and Planet of Lana, two games I have been looking forward to for a long time now, but Planet of Lana never even hinted at a date until like a few weeks ago on Twitter. They're just like putting 2022 hashtags, and it's like, don't do that. And they officially had a little press release, even though it's totally unnecessary since they didn't make it official. But most likely spring to second quarter for Planet of Lana. And the same goes for Metal Slug Tactics. But I kind of trust the indie a little bit more on this particular one. Because Metal Slug, they announced it and they're like, well, you wanted it, so we're starting it. And I don't think it was very far into the process when they announced that one.
I always wonder when something like that happens, if all of their beginning resources go to not actually making the game, but just making a promo video, you know?
Exactly. And then we got Wave Race 64 on Nintendo Switch Online, baby.
Aw, yeah.
I haven't jumped on it yet, but I really can't wait to. That's one of those 64 classics that's just like play it anytime, play it for 5 minutes, play it for 30 minutes, doesn't matter.
I don't know anything really about the game, but I saw a headline that said the best part of this coming, being more available is the soundtrack. So I'm like, all right, okay. A racing game with a good soundtrack checks out.
Yeah, that's how I'm excited about the possibility of Extreme G coming too, because Wave Race 64 is like the one that was just like racing game, cool soundtrack, and then Extreme G just like took it to the extreme. I still listen to that soundtrack today.
I'm a Hydro Thunder kind of person, but I get why people like Wave Race.
Oh, well, then you should totally come by the arcade because we got it.
Oh.
Ooh.
Hell yeah.
Race.
We also got Roller Domes released today. That was that nifty little Mad Max meets Jet Set Radio Future looking game, super indie that we've been looking forward to. I am checking that out on Friday for sure. I have to buy that sucker.
Which one is that?
Roller Drum.
Roller Drum.
Yeah, it's the.
It's like if Roller Champions had like a PvP and guns. I mean, I'm sorry, single player and guns.
There you go.
Yeah, it's like Tony Hawk with and like cell shaded, and it looks cool.
Cool.
People said it was fun from the people that previewed it.
Yeah, and I think review embargo went up today, so they're getting out there. I haven't looked up the reviews yet, but I know it's going to be at least very fun. Did anybody want to take my last news bit there?
Sure. Or... The graphic here?
Yes.
Then yes, I will. Vilos dropped this wonderful top 10 sellers for Steam for this week, for the past week. And listing from top to bottom, we have number one is the Steam Deck. It's funny to me every once in a while. I'll see some snarky internet people cracking jokes about the Steam Deck not selling well and their example of why that's true is that none of their friends are playing it, which is a really stupid way to gather information on a large scale. But that seems to be doing very well, and we did see recently, I think we talked about it on here, that
Yep.
Steam Deck sales are ahead of schedule. So anybody who pre-ordered it should see that sooner rather than later. So Steam Deck's at the top. Number 2 and 3 are two different versions of Spider-Man Remastered. So a lot of people are playing that game. I've seen some funny things that included mods for it where you could play as different characters, not the least of which was Stan Lee as Spider-Man.
The
Yeah.
Kingpin one's pretty funny too, because the Kingpin's body model just does not fit
Oh
Peter
my
Parker.
goodness.
Wild.
It's great. He's like all hunched and squished into this little thing.
Right,
It's-
his like shoulders are
great.
like above him because his head is
Mhm.
or his
Mhm.
he's so massive. Number 4 and number 6 are both Cult of the Lamb, two different versions of that game. So a lot of people playing that game. That's very exciting. Of course, it's a Devolver joint, but it is technically an indie game. We're going to talk about that later, but that game is super cool. A little laugh that Vilas and I had on Twitter was that a streamer friend of ours was asking. He was like, "Yo, can somebody tell? Did I miss the memo? Why are so many Twitch streamers talking about starting a cult this week?" And I was like, "Well,
Oh my God.
I hope that it's because Cult of the Lamb just released."
That's exactly what it is.
But the alternate universe of people using Twitch to spread their cult is really funny.
Yeah, you know, you got to
It could
evangelize.
still be happening.
hmm
Let's not rule it out.
I mean, Jared Leto withstanding, you know.
Man, you know, I mean, if current world culture is a lot like 50 years ago, then hey, we're ripe for the Colton, you know. Number 5, we have the Farthest Frontier, which I actually don't know anything about. Do you guys?
I do only because Vinny Caravella talked about it. Jesus Christ. on Nextlander podcast. It sounds like it is very Age of Empires-y
Cool.
kind of deal. But yeah,
We got 2 Point Campus behind that, which just released. 2 Point Camp or 2 Point has a bunch of games. 2 Point Hospital, 2 Point insert building here. That I actually thought 2 Point Campus was a game from years ago, which goes to show that I don't know a lot about it. But that franchise is alive and well. It's kind of similar to like Roller Coaster Tycoon or Blankety Blank Tycoon. Do a bunch of stuff to build your own little empire.
it's a little goofier than that. You get to do more like goofy things, but it is it's actually kind of Simsy as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At
In
least the
2
2
Point
Point games are.
Hospital, you can actually play as the Sonic gang. Being doctors.
Really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Behind that, we've got Stray. Plenty of people are still playing. It's a fun game. I mean, that game's only like 10 hours long, right? So I'm sure it's just going to crawl down this list as everybody beats it. But number 9, this one surprised me, is Cyberpunk 2077. Still up there. Still a lot of people playing that. What a funny game that it took forever for them to release it, and people are just going to be playing it forever as well.
That game fucking rules. I know it had its problems, but that game is fucking awesome. Like when people finally get to like sit down and play it, like because I know a lot of people are like, I'm waiting forever until everything's cool.
Waiting for it to be good. It's like, bro,
Yeah.
just fucking do it.
Take your
Yeah,
ball and go home.
I played it on PC during the midst of all the bad stuff, and I think the game maybe crashed once on me. I didn't like have any problems really with it.
Dude, I played it on an Xbox One X, like, and it was beautiful. It was fine.
Yeah,
Right.
Check your privilege.
game's
900.
real good.
I
Best
didn't
Fallout,
say I played it on a Wii U or anything, but
best Fallout game that has ever been made.
Oh, well.
And then number 10, last on this list, is Guilty Gear Strive. So, man, a ton of people are playing on. When I think of fighting games, I just always think of PlayStation. So that still surprises me to see a fighting
It's
game
fair, actually.
so
Guilty
far.
Gear Strive is blowing up right now because it was so big at Evo. It was like one of the most
Well,
entered things this year.
it's still a pretty big fighting game in its own right. Like it
Yeah.
competes. It's probably not on the same level as Street Fighter, but it handily competes with Tekken.
Yeah.
As far as fighting games go, like popularity wise.
Mhm.
People are really, really into it right now because they just released a fan favorite character, Bridget, who is like a yo-yo trickster zoner user.
Yeah, she uses
Uh,
booty bump. She's got a
All of
booty
these
bump
adjectives,
maneuver.
man.
it is a
I
new
love it.
language. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing about Bridget is that she was actually just confirmed to be a trans character.
Oh,
In Bridget's lore, Bridget was raised to be a daughter because they were born twin sons. And in the lore of the game, having twin sons is like a big giant misfortune, and your family's gonna befall like the greatest evil and all that whatnot, and bring like
everybody
dishonor
knows.
to like the yeah. And so they were just like, okay, we're just gonna raise you as a daughter so that people don't know that we're cursed. Uh, and so, but he always had identified as male at that time. Well, I don't think this is a spoiler because it's just like a little character arc ending or whatever. But if you complete Bridget's story, um, she's just like, I this is who I am now, just whatever. So yeah, that's like the big thing about Bridget right now. It's kind of thrown the internet in kind of a tizzy because on the one hand, people are like, woo, new trans representation. But then on the other hand, people who are like non-binary or, demi-mask presenting or anything like that, they're just like, oh, well, I mean, okay, it's kind of a whirlwind right now. But after it settles, I think everybody's just going to be happy for the
Promise, if you've never watched footage of Guilty Gear Strive, do that because it is real pretty.
Well, I don't know anything about Strive, but Guilty Gear is a very pretty game.
yeah.
Yeah, Strive is just the newest one, and it's insane looking. It's
There's a
I mean, if
reason
you
it's
play games
popular.
like Blaze Blue or, Persona Arena, anything like that, then you know what to
right.
expect pretty much.
Yeah.
Blaze
But
Blue is the one that I've thought about trying, because it had like a whole RPG mechanic and storyline where it seemed like I would actually be able to wrap my head around it. But every fighting game of this ilk that I get into, the menus automatically make me go, nope, because the menus are so insane. It's like, what am I supposed to be doing? Why
Guilty
is there
Gear
so
is
many
actually
things to do?
notorious for that. When it was
Yeah,
when Strive was in beta and people had like the online lobby system, they were just like, "Uh, look at all this chief."
it's crazy. But the game looks fantastic, and a lot of people are hyped about it because of the Bridget stuff, and it had a really good showing at Evo.
It did.
Like most I think I can't remember where I heard this, but I was listening to a lot of podcasts about Evo lately, and or gaming podcasts that were talking about Evo. I think they said that it had the most amount of Americans ever in like a tournament, like the denomination of like Americans to the rest of the field was like way higher. It was like a record number in Guilty Gear Strive. And I'm not sure the exact reasoning for that, but like I just remember everybody, talking that Strive had a really great showing at Evo. People were really excited about it.
Heck yeah.
But there's another fighting game of sorts that you've had your eye on, right? Yeah.
Oh, look at that. Yes. The day after our podcast last time, August 10th, August 11th, Rumbleverse came out, which is tying it into my wrestling-ness, my wrestling background, or my job. Anyway, it is a Fortnite looking ass, like
No, that's
Fortnite.
enough said. I think everybody, that's enough. Anyway, so that's
You got it. It
Rumbleverse.
is a Fortnite looking ass, but melee and professional wrestling. So it looks like fun. People seem to be having fun with it. It seems to be doing well. I've noticed that the numbers seem high. And people are having fun with it. It looks really cool and fun. Just to like be a kitty and power bomb a dude off of a building. That sounds fun. Yeah, it looks interesting. I'm glad that people are in this world of these battle royales. Like we're like, I think we're past this now. And then there's like one or two that'll come out and they're like, no, not yet. We're not done yet. We're still going.
Mhm.
Because
I
I know
mean,
I know Blood Hunt's doing pretty well right now, and people seem to be enjoying this too. So
This looks really fun, but Jesus Christ, we're not even over the ridiculous amount of videos that Twitter has about Fortnite right now.
yeah,
Yeah.
Oh,
It's all Goku and Vegeta and Kamehamehas and just fucking
I
wild.
saw a screenshot of like a lobby of Fortnite, and it had Naruto, Goku, Darth Vader, and Rick Sanchez, just all
That
in the
was-
same lobby.
I can't
Thomas
with
shared
this
it.
world right now.
It was Mega Ran, and Mega Ran goes, "Yo, I think Fortnite's cool now."
Yeah.
This is gaming.
Characters.
This is gaming.
wow.
I mean, it does feel like it's actually at that level though, because it's like
It's just so
literally just
ridiculous.
name a fucking character that somebody loves, and they're gonna be in the damn game, and they're gonna be doing some dumb shit like Goku running around swinging like Spider-Man is so stupid, but you can do it. It's
right.
Darth Vader driving a Bugatti, listening to Eminem's "Lose Yourself," like
Oh
possible
my God.
in the
and
game. Like,
the dances, all the dances with every character model, just nope.
Video games, baby.
I saw Beerus doing Gangnam Style after he knocked
Yeah.
down Vegeta.
Oh my goodness.
I honestly want to play this game now because it just looks so much fun, like so zany ridiculous.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, look, if the four of us wanted to play Fortnite together, I would play
No
it.
build? Yeah, let's do it.
You know, I've spent 5 minutes of my whole life playing Fortnite, and I didn't like it. But that was like
Exactly.
that was also like 5 years ago. And
It's a much different game now.
you know, now that I've played a bunch of Rogue Company, I think I could play another third-person shooter. So I'm saying there's a
excited.
chance.
Yeah.
I think I could Kamehameha somebody across the map. Yeah.
Bro, the way it flushes your health, you get chunked for real.
You get what?
Chunked.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Did you see the
Game's
video
chunky
of
now.
what it looks like on the other end?
Yes!
If you're receiving
It's just like
it literally just wipes out your entire screen. You're just done.
You're just
There's nothing.
like Scott Pilgrim. Like, it's like-
Yeah.
oh man.
that is wonderful. Well, in addition
Yes,
to
Rumbleverse.
Rumbleverse, let's see. In addition to Rumbleverse being released on the 11th, like you said, Zav also you got on here that Multiverse Season 1 is out. Ho! Because
Pew, 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 pew.
I was gonna eventually talk about the new character releases we've got in here. That were teased just this week. But what else can you say about Season 1? Because I don't know nothing other than the 2 new characters.
So, along with season 1 will be, of course, a new battle pass that will come with all the new cosmetics and everything. Ranked mode is coming soon. So what they have, if you go to their website, you'll see that they have a roadmap out, and what they're planning to do with the longevity of their season is release everything over the course of the season, like kind of, what's it called? Pepper feed? I don't know what am I
Staggered
talking about?
release?
Yeah, but like there's a specific term I was looking for. Anyway, drip feed. I got there. Drip feed content, pepper feed, over the course of the season. And so we're gonna get ranked mode. We're gonna get those 2 new characters, which you'll mention later. Ooh, suspense. And then everything in that nature. So I'm really excited. I want the shop because I know there are going to be so many new variants coming out that I'm going to want. And I'm not sure which are going to be available on Battle Pass and which are going to be available in shop. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm just happy that we are finally underway for like the first official season of Multiverses. And it's seeing a whole new surge in audience because Evo kind of work its magic.
Mm-hmm.
It did. I'm really surprised that it was actually at Evo at all, considering it wasn't even quote unquote officially out yet.
Right.
But I'm glad that they did that. They took a chance and it paid off really, really well. So they're gonna have a big surge in audience. Right in time for that shop to come out and spend money.
Hey.
But I'm really excited because Multiverse is a game I think that everyone should try. I've been saying for like a long time that I think it's the smash killer people are looking for. First of all, I mentioned this last time. $1,000 for 17th place.
Yep.
That alone, spot like
I could hit 17. That's fine.
no.
Wow.
Wow.
But just that amount of support from the studios alone just knocks it out of Smash out of the water.
Yeah.
Nintendo don't care about Smash. I mean, it just now partnered with Panda to do like the Melee thing, and who knows how long that took. I mean, 25 years. because Melee is that old, I think.
Yeah.
There's nothing else to say, you know? I think this is with the ally system, the role system, uh, the perk system, it just changes up the genre and the platform fighter like as a whole in so many good, refreshing ways that I think that people are really going to be they're really going to want to check this out, you know?
Yeah.
It controls more smoothly than that Nick game, the Brawl, Nick All-Star Sprawl. It's
Hold
got
on, hold
rollback
on. Stop,
netcode.
stop. Hold up, hold up. Because I do have stuff I want to talk about because I can see you ramping up, and I've seen
Okay, yeah.
myself do this. Let's hold it for a second.
And it takes place in Asia. No.
Yeah. Because I actually missed that you have this one more thing. We'll come back to Multiversus in a minute because we both want to talk about it. But could you talk about the Splatoon 3 OLED Switch?
Oh yeah. I'm super excited about that. I actually saw pictures of stores receiving their shipment because I know people that work at Target. So stores are now receiving their shipment. If y'all want to get the pre-orders in, do it quickly because they're probably going to be flying off the shelves because first of all, they're OLED. Second of all, they're Splatoon. And third, did you see those Joy-Cons? They are gorgeous. They're gorgeous. If you don't have a Switch, this is the perfect time to buy one because you'll get that automatic Ethernet port in. You'll get the most beautiful Joy-Cons that have ever been released. And you'll have like little tiny Inklings and Octolings etched all on the back of your OLED. And it's OLED. So
Yeah.
Do it.
Do
Highly
it.
recommended. I think it's $350. Before tax, $349.99. And then get your pre-orders in now. Because I know for sure Target is receiving shipments because the connections, but I'm not
And
sure if any other places are yet.
Actually, most of the pre-orders are actually not quite open yet.
Oh, okay. Well, then there you go.
But like,
Y'all got
it's
the insider
anytime now.
information.
That's right.
Anytime now, it's gonna happen. So
It's a Matryoshka doll of information.
be aware.
Well, perfect. Yeah. So the Switch always has really cool custom versions. Unlike the first ones that came out, these ones don't have a lot of Joy-Con problems. At least I certainly haven't heard the same as when the first ones came out. Because whoo boy, I remember going to an in-person meetup that Scary Gary and Kansas City put together, where we played Mario Party on one of the movie theater screens, and man, just constant desync, constant, which made me nervous for custom Joy-Cons for a while after that. But we're definitely at a point now where it doesn't seem to be an issue. So in this case, I would say if you either really, really love Splatoon and want an upgraded Switch, or you haven't
Me?
bought a Switch and you're looking for a good jumping in point. You said it's $350. I mean, this sounds like a good. If you're somebody who really cares about, showing off your new swag, that seems like a good place to start.
Yeah, and I think that's only $50 more than the original, like the non-OLED models, at $299.99. So it's not even that much of a jump,
Yeah. Okay. Well, that is the drop. Thank you, Vilos, for putting some of that together for us, and thank you for the community for making it really easy to grab that stuff. We pull a lot of that stuff directly from our Discord. There's even more that we haven't talked about. Those are just our favorite things. But once again, if you want to see all of that, the easiest place, in my opinion, the easiest place in our whole community to find all the news without a doom feed to scroll through is our Discord. We've got a news channel in there. And actually, I'll mention this again. We recently unlocked a Tier 3 Discord, which means we have a custom URL. So if you type in discord.gg/partyinviteshow, it will take you directly to our server.
Boom.
Boom. So that's the news. That's the drop. So we'll move on to what we've been playing. So let's bring it back. All right, Sav, let's get ramped up for Multiversus.
So in Spelunky 2.
So I just picked up Multiversus for the first time after you've talked about it at length, Sav.
And I downloaded it. I haven't played it yet, but I downloaded it.
We're going to get Chris to boot it up before next week because, I took my baby step. I did the tutorial. I had a good laugh explaining to Lizzie why Shaggy looks like a Super Saiyan when he charges up, all because of a meme, I played the tutorial, and then I played a handful of games against bots, either by myself or later on I played a couple games with Shanny Pack. Lots of fun. And as far as being a Smash killer like you have again talked at length at why this game stands on its own legs and doesn't have, it's not Smash's, uh, Mad Catz version. Um, there's a lot of great stuff going on, but almost the best thing, the thing that allowed me to pick it up in the first place, is that the roster right now is nice and small. There are like 12-ish characters, ballpark. So when I jump in as a brand new player, I don't have to learn literally 1,000 moves like in Smash, because every character, there are tons and tons of characters, and every character has a ton of moves. This is a lot easier for me to just take a little bite of. And I still have a ton to learn. I barely know what I'm doing, and I definitely don't know all the moves yet. But I'm really glad I picked it up, and Sav, I'm really glad you talked so much about it. Because on my own, I probably wouldn't have given it a chance. I think I thought that my love for that was behind me, after I kind of had a falling out with Smash, just being overwhelmed with it. But really glad I picked it up.
I'm super excited.
I've only
But,
played as Shaggy, Garnet, and somebody
Who?
else. I don't even remember.
Got it from Steven Universe.
Who I didn't know. I've only watched probably the first like 6 episodes of Steven Universe. Though Lizzie loves it, and so I know I should go
It's so
back.
good.
Actually, I should add that to my list of like, background TV when I want to put something on, but I don't super want to watch it. Like I don't want it to have my full attention. And pretty sure that's the whole point of Multiverses, is that they want us to be like, who's that character? You know what? I could go spend 100 hours watching this TV show. Yeah.
I mean,
Um,
that's kind of how Smash treated the Fire Emblem franchise,
Yeah, I didn't know about Fire Emblem at all until Marth came out.
Totally worked though.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
So what else do I have? Yeah, Multiverse is just a lot of fun. Only played against bots. The new characters that they just showed, I think they appear in the main menu now. I'm not sure because I haven't booted it up since this went live. But the next upcoming characters are Black Adam and Spike, who is the evil gremlin from Gremlins. That's silly. That's just silly.
I would definitely play Spike. That'd be so fun.
So
Is it not Stripe?
yeah,
it is Stripe.
Stripe.
Thank you.
Okay.
It is Stripe. Because he has a striped mohawk. That's the whole point of his
Yeah.
name. Lol.
I'm excited for Rick and Morty. That's what that like moveset's going to be very, very interesting.
Well, they're two
Um,
separate characters.
Right,
Morty,
exactly.
yeah.
No, I know.
I think Morty's coming
Rick
out
and
first.
Morty. There is 2 of them.
Yeah, what? Tom and Jerry. There's 2 of them.
Rosalina
Tom and
and
Jerry is
Luma,
One character, though, right?
Olimar and his Pikmin.
Oh
I
my
mean,
god.
technically, that is his name in the game. Olimar and Pikmin.
Oh, is that right? Is that what they say?
Mhm.
I mean, there was a time I used to be an Olimar main, but how far I've fallen. How
Well,
embarrassing.
when they took out the black skin for Olimar, which I called Lamar lovingly,
Olimar.
What's
Yes.
cool?
about that too, yeah. Black Adam is going to be really cool. Are they, so with Batman, they have like the original skin and they have like the animated series, like variant or whatever.
Mhm.
I wonder if they're going to have like the animated Black Adam or like the Injustice version that we see in like the Injustice fighting games,
Mhm.
or are they going to get like the Rock one?
Right.
You know,
I mean, LeBron's in there, so.
There'll be a rock one.
I mean, his
I mean,
character
the
is.
movie will come out. They'll
That's true.
definitely.
I mean, what did they do with Superman's alts?
Superman. I don't think this is released yet, but they have Bizarre. Is it Bizarro Superman?
Mm-hmm.
Or no, it's
I would
either
assume
Bizarro
they have a
Superman or
Bizarro
Black
version.
Lantern Superman. I can't remember what. I think it's Black Lantern Superman. That's actually
Oh,
there.
spooky.
But then
Oh, really?
the one that's out right now is Million Year Man. I can't remember. He's like all golden.
Yeah, like literally 100% gold.
Okay.
Yeah. So those are the only ones that I currently know about.
Huh.
I'm not really sure if there's anything else going on, like if they're going to use like Henry Cavill or rip off cellophane Superman one.
Christopher
Think
Reeve,
about
yeah.
how wild and crazy they can get with all their skins for all that. Like, especially in the Rick and Morty universe. Oh boy,
Oh, yeah.
that can get real goofy and
I
silly
mean-
depending on how far they want to go.
Just in Pocket Mortys, they did like what, over 100 different Mortys?
They did 150, I think, just to perfectly parallel
Oh my
Yeah.
Pokemon.
gosh.
Yeah.
Pocket Mortys.
What a
I forgot about
silly.
We need Evil Morty though. And if you win with
Mhm.
Evil Morty, you have to have the theme.
I want anime Rick, like the Vampire Hunter D Rick that they have it in the
Oh,
last.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. The
Anyway,
Crow Rick. Yeah.
yes, Crow Rick. Yeah, the two crows.
Well, let me put up the cinematic that I meant to be playing earlier. The last thing I would say about Multiverses is that it's still free. It's technically in beta or whatever. The game clearly could use some polish here and there, but whatever. It's quality. It's only going to get better, and it's also cross-play. So I've played it on. Used a controller both times, but I've played it on my Xbox and PC, and it's great. There doesn't seem to be any issue. It asks you if you want to do crossplay, but that's it. You just say yes, and then, then that's that. It does tell you to use a controller. So if you're somebody who's on PC, I would definitely recommend using your controller from a console you own or buying a controller to play with. If you're somebody on PC who doesn't own a controller, there are lots of games that are almost only playable on controller. So definitely recommend that. But quality stuff. So yeah, go pick that up. You'll link your Epic Games account or your WB Games account, which for some reason I had. I'm pretty sure there was a game years ago. Oh no, it was the old Gotham.
Gotham City Imposters?
Yeah, the one where it's like you've got
Team
classes.
Fortress?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I had it from early PS4 days. But
I miss that game.
go play that. That's Multiverses. We've talked a bunch about it in the past. If you really want to hear Sav let loose about all the good things about it. You can also follow Sav on Twitch at twitch.tv/SovereignSid. I keep pointing people over there because you've always, you're always playing the cool games. So go check them out. I'll actually link that in Twitch or Twitch chat.
Well, thank you.
You betcha. What else do we have? Let's hop over to Chris or Carlos here.
Or I could pick it back off you since I'm talking about multiverses as well.
Sure.
Or you could just throw on some of my gameplay or something. But I guess you know what? I don't really have much else more to say that I didn't cover in the drop anyway.
Okay.
Just get the game, y'all.
It's fun. Then let's see. Chris, do you want to talk about Solar Ash?
Yeah, let's talk about Solar Ash. I am now like 86% of the way through Solar Ash.
Just a guess, just about ballpark 86%.
Well, it's because every time you like load in, it tells you what the percentage is at the top.
Mm-hmm.
I have only one more world to like get all the anomalies and then take out the boss, and I will activate the Starseed, which is the thing that is supposed to help save my universe. But there is a big giant lady with this like spike through her heart, and she's like all in pieces, that every time I beat a boss I like appear in her hand, and she talks to me and tells me like my errand is foolish, I'm never going to save my planet, all these kind of things. And every time I keep doing these things, it's just hurting her more. And then we'll have a conversation, then she'll smash her hand, and then I'll be back in the world. And I'm assuming I'll have to fight her, or there'll be another boss or something.
I mean, you gotta fight her, right? She's huge. And
I think so. And I'm interested to see, because people have said that the ending of this game emotionally impacted them in a way. And based off of what it's kind of telling us or telling you through the game, basically I think what they're trying to do is basically be like, hey, our planet is important, so maybe we should have treated it better. Like it's kind of like every world that you're in, it kind of tells you like, man, it looked like there's a whole civilization here. If they would have just been able to keep their shit together, kind of stuff. And,
Civilization,
oh,
am I right? You know,
I'm mad.
people are just letting it fall apart.
Yeah, it's really, the game is incredibly pretty. This area specifically that we're looking at in gameplay right here, just be wary in case another ad pops up, Thomas.
Wow, you've given us away, Chris.
is is like was like the first like awe-inspiring one where I was just like, I can't believe this is a level that they created. This is insanity. But the game is fantastic. It's still on sale right now on PlayStation. If you have a PlayStation, you should definitely buy this game. It is dope. It's not very long. Like, you're not going to be playing it forever. But there's definitely like secrets and stuff I haven't found yet, or those kind of things. Because you get all these pieces of these suits. And at some point, I was just like, well, I'm not going to get all the pieces to every suit. I'm going to beat the game. I'm going to just beat it because I don't want to be here forever. But the game is gorgeous. It's a very, very fun game to play. It's very satisfying. Like, the first like couple times you're on like one of these big giant monsters and it kicks your ass, you start getting really frustrated. You're like, and then you have to set it down for a little bit and then come back. It's like all right, done for a while, and then you boot the game up again and play the boss a couple more times and you beat it. It's that kind of play till you get to the really frustrating part, set it down, come back a few hours later, and you're gonna be fine.
This game, I always have parallels in my head with Fury, Furi.
Yes.
Same exact thing. It's just like, hey, it's hard. It's gonna be hard, and it's gonna stay hard. So
crazy.
Maybe.
I'll type it.
Oh my gosh, you people.
What do you mean, you people?
Oh, I wasn't even gonna go there. Like, come on. Like, even me.
Yeah. So this game looks sweet. I really
So
like
cool.
watching the gameplay for it. So
it's so good.
You're at 86% of this. Well, do you think you'll finish 14% by next week?
Yeah, if I don't beat it by next week, I'm gonna be very mad at myself because
you'll be furious.
What am I waiting for? Oh, I see what you did there.
Thank you.
Root.
Well, excellent. What do you think you'll play after this? I usually don't ask this, but do you have anything on deck? Since this is a short game.
Well, I do. Like, I always play my sports games and stuff, but I really want to play Cult of the Lamb, Thomas. Look at that lead in.
Heck yeah, I will definitely briefly talk about Cult of the Lamb. Because Cult of the Lamb is a game that I have not personally played. This is not a review of Cult of the Lamb. This is a review of what it's like to live with someone who's playing Cult of the Lamb. Hashtag not an ad. No, Lissy's been playing Cult of the Lamb on her Switch, and I've been looking for excuses to stay on the couch. Usually if I'm gaming, I'm here on my computer. So I've been... that's actually why I played Multiversus on the Xbox, is because I just got to... Like, I can't always see the screen. I usually can't see the screen when she's playing. But it's a Devolver game, so I can hear the great sound design, and I can hear the great music that's in it. So that's enjoyable on its own. But hearing her excitement when she plays, this is actually one of the first games she's, I think, ever played. She might correct me on this, on like medium difficulty. Usually she. Oh, Lizzie says that's a lie.
Lies.
Because a lot of the time she'll play on easy because she's usually interested in the story. But this combat and everything seems to me to be butter smooth. I talk a lot that Lizzie and I like games that are kind of like Swords of Ditto, right? It's kind of like an old school Zelda game, right? You've got a couple weapons and abilities. You've got like a weapon and a spell in this game, and you choose. I forget how you select those, but you choose those before you go into a dungeon. You go into the dungeon and you can exit at any time. Actually, I should really compare it to Moonlighter.
Pull up some of that beautiful footage.
Yeah, let's do that. So
It is a lot like Moonlighter.
it is a lot like Moonlighter. So you can exit at any time with what you've got, or you can keep playing. But if you die when you're in the dungeon, you lose like 25% of what you're holding or something. Let's get this up here. So it seems really cool. This just came out last week, I think last Tuesday, and as you win these boss fights and stuff, you have cultists. You have very cute, scared animals who you recruit as followers. So you recruit them as your followers and take them back to your base. So there's this whole base building mechanic. Air horns in chat for Lizzie subbing in on Twitch right now. Put some Doritos right there. There's a whole base building mechanic that's really fun. As you progress, you can get different buildings that serve different purposes. Anything from sacrificing your very willing followers to a prison to lock up dissenters. When you recruit a follower, you can change their name and their look, and a lot of people are having fun right now. We joked about it earlier. Playing on Twitch, there's Twitch integration where one way or another you're able to have people, like, I think, donate channel points. Somebody was just telling me about this. It might have been Vilos. You can donate channel points to become a follower in the cult. It's just a wonderful Twitch integration. But since you can do all that, Lizzie made me her first follower, and she plays all night the night that she bought it, and then the next day I get back from work and she's like, hey, so yeah, I sacrificed you. And I was like, oh no, like, what, already? And she's like, no, don't worry, it was for the good of the cult, and you were kind of happy about it, but also you were beginning to become a dissenter, so I needed to get rid of you quick.
Wow.
But it ain't easy. It ain't easy running a cult. So can you blame her?
Colton ain't easy.
Colton ain't easy. That's what they say. So that's just a bundle of fun. Like I said, it's a Devolver Digital joint. They produced it. Something Monster. I have it written here. Massive Monster is the developer on there. But lots of good stuff. Cute characters, interesting base building, and upkeep mechanics, so your characters actually grow older as time goes by. And so there are perks in a talent tree that you can decide on. And the one that I remember the most is you can either have the benefit of having a bunch of old people, like elders, in your cult, and there's a benefit from that, or you get a bigger benefit from sacrificing people when they're young, and your followers ask to be sacrificed. There's this big altar, and then a giant tentacle comes out, grabs them, and then pulls them through this portal. As your follower has a big smile on their face. It's very silly. But yeah, you can either have a bunch of old people and get a benefit from that, or make sure you have no old people, where you get a boon from, like, you get a huge bonus when you sacrifice young followers, and you lose whatever it is when a cultist dies of old age. But that's only one choice that I saw her make. There are a bunch of those that you can choose between. And yeah, just lots of interesting unlocks, lots of interesting characters. I remember seeing a spider named Helob, which, for those of you at home, is a play on Shelob
awesome.
from Lord of the Rings. And just a bunch of other stuff. Good eldritch horror, all in a wonderful, cute box. So that's Cult of the Lamb. Highly recommend it. Chris, I am excited to hear your firsthand experience with it, because, like, I'm not sure when I'm going to play it, but I am definitely going to play that game.
I don't, like I said, I don't know, because Madden just came out, so who knows when I actually get around to it. But I always got to be playing like something that's like story based, or something that's not. I don't just play the sports games. I gotta mix it up, or else I'll drive myself crazy.
But then if you do get to, like, super emotional and invested in your mental health and your emotions, then you could be sports, man, and
Yeah, there you go.
Chris is going
The
to show.
emotional end of Solar Ash. Yeah, I'm worried. I'm scared.
Yeah.
Scared.
You'll show up one day with full red and yellow Chiefs war paint on.
Yeah,
Be like, Chris has been playing Madden again. He's been playing as
Covering up the
Mahomes.
tears. You know.
Yeah.
Fun fact: Warpaint is the name of a makeup brand for men.
Oh, I saw you
Nice.
share that.
Yep.
And it's all black packaging and stuff too, because if men realized that
for men.
it was makeup, you know, and if it was the color pink, it would cost more because of the pink text. But
Oh,
you know, these are the deep cuts. Cool. Well, yeah, I'm excited. That's Cult of the Lamb. That is the high. Well, it's definitely in the top like 3 of games I want to play next. I have no idea how long it is. I mean, Lizzie's been playing it pretty avidly for a week, and I don't know. If I was completely guessing here, I'd say she's like 2/3 of the way through. I don't know. But yeah,
there
that's
was a little bit of a consensus on Twitter because the whole value per hour for games shit came up again on Twitter over the weekend. So people are saying it's between like 18 to 25 hours for. But I mean, the fact that it has roguelike elements does a lot for it. So
Right.
yeah. And that seems like a fun one. You could make challenges for yourself where you're like, okay, in this cult, I'm specifically going to take this type of perk to build differently and all that stuff. But that's cool. Well, yeah, that's Cult of the Lamb. Like I said, I haven't even played it, so we'll hear more about that when Chris eventually gets to it. So really, those were the only things that I played. I'll briefly just finish everything I have here. I played Prey last night. Had some hardware crashes. Oops. My computer doesn't like that very specific area that I was in. But we are trying to pick up Prey some more and make some progress in it. Game's good. And then we played Rift Tracks with some friends over the weekend. Rift Tracks is made by the Mystery Science Theater 3000 crew. It's a very funny Jackbox adjacent game that more people should know about. It's very funny. It's spelled RIFFTRAX, Rift Tracks. So go play that. Bundle of fun. Really great to play with non-gamers if that's something you're looking for. And it's just like Jackbox games. You play it over your phone. You can play it over Discord if you want. People don't have to buy the game. And then the other thing,
Shaw's recommend.
yeah, Halo Infinite.
Absolutely.
I played a little bit more. The second season came out, I guess. I noticed a new level in Big Team Battle, which was fun. I finally just finished my Season 1 Battle Pass. I hit level 100 finally, which is funny. I had set the game down when I was level 96 before. So now I fully got that unlocked. I've got cool fire and stuff on my Spartan. But yeah, there's a new map that's basically the only difference. I mean, according to this trailer that's playing, it looks like there is at least one, maybe two different 4v4 modes. Anyway, the game is still fun. I think the core of that game is good, but all the problems that existed 8 months ago when we were all playing, they still exist. And those problems, which are long load times, or getting stuck on a loading screen where it kicks me for inactivity because the loading screen took so long. That exact thing happened both on my PC and my Xbox. And I gotta say, last gen Xbox does not play this game very well at all. Not a really big surprise, but when I see people's silhouettes on the other side of walls, it's like 10 frames per second. Everything looks very robotic.
Yikes.
But that's all I've been playing. Mostly Multiversus and watching Cult of the Lamb, but a little bit of other stuff here. More than usual.
Pro tip: if you want to play Halo, play Splitgate.
Yeah.
Ta-da! Like,
Yeah, Splitgate certainly doesn't have the same issues as this. I will say we did try to Splitgate stream Splitgate on the subathon. My computer couldn't handle it. It can't handle Halo or Splitgate, and I was surprised because Splitgate runs great off stream, runs very well. But yeah, it has the same shooter struggle that a bunch of these have. But enough of me. I'm gonna quit talking. Let's hop over to Vilos. Which one do you want to talk about first?
The first one's real quick. So the first tree was another game that I really wanted to play. The first tree, Endling, and Lost Ember over last weekend because they're all thematically similar and short. Suffice to say, Xenoblade had other plans. But the first tree is barely 1.5 hour long game. It is a grief game. As you guys know, that's what I play. I play a ton of games that go over that. And it's presented as two different stories, but it's really just one metaphor and one actual story. So you play as this fox that's trying to find her missing family, but I think it's technically three cubs. But again, it's a very short game, so you're really just walking in this open world and basically grabbing these beams of light is a side thing you can do as far as the achievements go. But then you're digging up little spots that are basically memories because the whole time that you're walking around as this fox, this main character, this male voice is talking about his journey with his father and kind of understanding how his father's like I wasn't 100% sure whether his father did die or was dying, but suffice to say, um, this man is coming to terms with his father, his estranged father, and he's talking to presumably his wife or girlfriend. And it's just these two, like almost two casual voices narrating and just discussing this story as you're playing as this fox. It's a very very weak on gameplay because it's very floaty platforming that you're doing and you're really just walking, so it really is a walking simulator, but it is a good time. It's an enjoyable experience. It's one of those things that you just give it that 1.5 to 2 hours and that's it. That's all you'll ever really need. It's not on the same level as an Abzu or Ond or any of the Flower and that game company and stuff like that, but it is worth playing, I would say. And it's still, I think it's still $2 for a few more days on Switch. It's $2.
Can't beat that.
It's on sale a lot of the time on even on Steam for around that price. Basically, almost never higher than $5.
That sounds like a great thing to put on people's list for like, I don't know what I want to play. Well, guess what? You can beat this whole entire game this sitting. You don't even have to play
Yeah.
that long.
Exactly, and there because of the whole like light mote collecting thing, you could technically stretch it to like 3 or 4 hours, but
Really?
yeah, it's I wouldn't say it's worth it. I love platformers, but it is so floaty. I didn't notice in the trailer if it's as floaty,
A little
if it
bit.
actually shows gameplay. But uh, think about if you're familiar with any of the SpongeBob platformers, floatier than that, and SpongeBob's underwater. So, so playing as a fox that it has a double jump and is very floaty, it's a little weird, but it's worth a play for sure. Especially if you're into getting emotional in a game, because the one last bit about it is that the end title or the end screen of the game actually is randomized because it's not a spoiler, but it is a spoiler, I guess. You have to find the first tree,
What?
and on and
Violence.
on the tree, because inevitably you have to see something, right? On the tree is actually a written thing, and for everybody that plays the game, it's supposedly different um, because you actually write it
Oh.
for somebody else that's playing it. So I thought that was interesting. I don't remember mine exactly, but I just remember it hitting me really hard. And it was one of those positive sort of things like congratulations on getting here, sort of very emotional sort of thing at the time. And that's what it's meant to do. It's meant to get you into that particular emotion, and I can only imagine what other things people saw on their tree. So
Wait.
it's a
So,
interesting wrinkle
like, you write the thing that ends up on your tree or
on somebody else's tree.
on somebody else's tree?
Yeah,
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Interesting. Well, I hope
yeah.
it's nice.
I thought I thought about looking it up on YouTube to see how many different endings people had on that, but yeah, it's pretty substantial. The one I got was actually like a lot of writing,
Hmm.
but I thought that was really cool.
What did it say? Tri-finger butthole.
Somebody has to have that, and it would completely break the game. Like that would kill me if it got to that point, because that part of the narration is actually like it's really tough at that point. So that would that would be the worst.
Wow.
God.
After all that, but somebody who's never
Oh.
heard of Elden Ring or Dark Souls would just be like, "But what does it mean?"
They become a scholar just to figure this shit out.
My goodness.
But the other
Yeah,
game
all the
that
way
I
to the end, it's just like, is this lost? Like,
yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
Actually,
if they could put a picture in there, yeah.
Vilos, you for those of you who don't know, Vilos is behind our Twitter account. So if you're ever tweeting at us, you're talking to Vilos. Vilos, you put a poll up on I think Monday that was about
Something like
what gets you excited to talk about games. And I saw, if I'm phrasing that correctly, I saw that by and large, the biggest thing that people responded with was it's all about how it makes you feel, you know.
Yes.
And so you talking about playing this game that's about grief, and then it really hit you hard, you know. Like those are exactly the kinds of experiences that gaming does so well. But a lot of people, if it weren't for shows like ours or other influencers and creators online, they wouldn't hear about those because a lot of people are busy, you know, complaining about Halo Infinite servers and stuff like that. That they don't try a lot of games that are out of their wheelhouse. So just hearing you talk about that, you know, despite like the floaty mechanics and stuff, I would say I just love hearing how that affects you, you know, and that it's enough that you're like, game's got problems, but recommend it, you know, go play this game, made me
Yeah.
feel feels.
For sure. And I will definitely say that anytime that comes up. And then I also got into last night the DioField Chronicle demo, which it snuck up on me. I think the demo came out last week. But this was one of the games that Square had announced a few months ago out of nowhere, and everybody's like, "Oh, what?" Because it was shortly after Triangle Strategy. So thematically, it looked a lot like Triangle Strategy, and we're gonna have a laugh about we're gonna have a good laugh about the similarities in naming structures between Triangle Strategy and DioField Chronicle. But the good thing is DioField Chronicle is not Triangle Strategy. It is a very different sort of strategy because it's actually kind of it's a
Rectangle
slight
strategy.
yes.
Okay, Chris, that's not funny, but this game is more well-rounded.
God damn it!
Maybe.
It's a it is actually it's more RTS, which is weird to me
What?
for an RPG. It's a lot
Oh.
more RTS actually. Things don't. The one thing that pauses the game is if you take an action, or I think it's an ability in here, but you move your character to where you want them to go to attack or what have you, and they'll just auto attack. And so they'll keep auto attacking until you make the decision to use one of their abilities. Of course, there's like a magic component, so you have to have cooldowns for certain abilities and stuff like that. The classes that you get in this demo, I think, are all the main classes. You have a healer, you have a tank, you have a quick assassin style character, and one other one. I don't even care about them. It's like the basic soldier.
We don't talk about that.
Did that guy's mustache connect to his sideburns?
Yes.
Probably, yeah.
Oh, Japan.
So we're gonna get into that here in a second, Sob, for sure. So the actual gameplay is actually very good. I enjoy it so far. It feels Fire Emblem light, but again, it being real time makes a big difference. I think I've only got one more quest to beat before the demo is over. I played over 2 hours of the demo, which is always nice on the Switch whenever you get that much time with the demo. And it did end with a boss fight against these two just huge damage boxes,
Right.
And it was fun because I was actually trying to beat the goals of each mission, the side goals, so you can find a treasure chest, and if nobody dies, you get this much XP at the end of it. And I did complete all the little side bonuses and stuff, and it kind of gave me that little extra bump that most of these strategy games don't normally. Um, and Odysseus, the cutscenes I can't even. That's the weird thing is the graphics. The graphics aren't bad, but they are very specifically odd, and they actually look a whole lot like a more realistic version of Bravely Default 2. Square does some weird stuff with the studios that make these games. I don't know what they tell them, but they tell them to do some weird shit sometimes.
I mean, if nothing, it is unique. To me, this I haven't seen a game
Yeah.
that looks like this, for better or for worse. Combined with unique gameplay mechanics that you're describing, like a real-time strategy game using these like battlefield management tactics. I don't even know what I'm talking about. I barely have the language to really
Well,
describe this game, but
like it almost feels like Gauntlet with extra steps. I guess like it feels a little bit like a dungeon crawler with extra steps. Because there are like orbs around that you can grab too that help boost your magic or boost your HP and stuff like that. I mean, it's really cool. If there's co-op, I don't know if there's co-op, but if there is co-op, that would be the way to play. It feels like there's probably not though.
oh,
And then
you said Bravely Default, and as I see these character things pop up, I'm like, oh, that's what that game is. Like, I
yeah.
know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. And then in between the quests, obviously, are a lot of cutscenes because it's got a story that's it's triangle
Convoluted.
strategy basically. It's Game of Thrones with extra bullshit, but in a fun
Extra.
way.
How could they fit more?
It's extra for sure. Talk to me after you play 65 hours of triangle strategy. And
No.
the cutscenes are yeah, the cutscenes are great, and then it goes into a Fire Emblem Three Houses kind of mode that's third person. You're running around this area talking to people in order to open up your quests, and that's like fully 3D. And it's like, all right, this is funny. There's almost 3 different visual styles throughout the whole game, but suffice to say, it comes out late next month, I believe, and I am very excited about it. But I do want to point out for everybody at home, let's watch that trailer one more time and we'll see the names. This is the bullshit that Square Enix does with these games, and I don't understand why. It's like, all right, we're gonna set this game in a fantasy world. Okay,
So you gotta have fantasy names.
let's work on these names, guys. And I don't know if it's the localization,
Dude, I thought I misread
or
them.
what.
Okay,
all
let's
right,
see.
so the
Hold on,
main
I'm gonna
character here.
pause this here. Just these are too good. The first one, oh gosh, I'm not going back far enough. Hold on. The first one is
I can't see which one you're looking at, but it's
Andreas and
yeah, Andreas Ronderson. All right, that sounds like some Key and Peele skit shit.
Yeah,
all right,
it does.
and they actually say these names like totally flat and just they make no sense. Okay,
Number
so,
two,
Andreas
Fredrit
Ronderson
Lester
with
Fredrit. That's not a name.
It feels like they used like a name generator, like just a syllable generator, not even a name generator, just
Right.
syllables.
yeah. Okay,
This is the name now.
And so I thought Triangle Strategy was bad, but after playing it, I'm like, you know what? I know these characters now, so it's fine. So Triangle Strategy, the main character was Sarah Noah Wolfort. Okay.
Come again? Bless
Sarah
you.
Noah Wolfort, and then his best friend was Roland Glenbrook. So there's one real name.
Okay.
Roland. And then they actually had some slightly realistic names eventually, but like Gila Brysa, what was the weirdest one? No, okay,
what
Cyrano
the
was probably the weirdest one.
Walta
But
Quinn Redditch? Walta Quinn?
yeah, it's like how white can we make this person seem, and then make her the white mage? It's really funny.
Dude.
Iscarian Colchester.
That's silly. That's just extra.
And then
the
Lataniana Bovanashu Niquiliquinis Johnson.
yeah. The assassin class, or they used to say mercenary, but whatever. Isolaire Wigan, or Izzy.
Yeah.
She is
naturally.
gorgeous, but the name is still some bullshit. Okay?
You're like, name's crazy. Don't worry, she's hot. But
yeah, but then they also, the sequel to her is Lorraine Luckshaw, and
Okay.
she's Bayonetta.
Not bad. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like
She
she's
sounds like she'd have a
almost
hat with a
literally
buckle on it.
Bayonetta.
You know?
Like that video I posted like last week. The Bayonetta 3 trailer looks
Oh,
crazy.
the Mega 64.
Dude rolling around on the ground.
And then I don't think the rest are in the trailer, but
no, just those.
Hezaliah Shatham. Hezaliah Shatham. Okay, picture that. What does that tell you? And I will tell you what it actually
Assalamu
is.
alaikum.
He's an Amish. He's an Amish.
Say it again.
Hezaliah Shatham.
He's an Amish.
Yeah, he's a guy with like slightly curly brown hair. He's wearing a white shirt that's
Oh, is he the one
partially
with the
buttoned
mustache
down.
sideburn thing going on?
Too bad. That is another very white, icy princess.
Oh, okay.
Jesaliah?
Yes.
Oh.
Now, the dude with the stash. This is funny. Most regular name of the entire cast.
John Smith.
Almost. William Hend.
Okay. Normal
An
guy.
actual name, like, except for the second part, it just doesn't work.
Vilas, can we have a segment where it's just you pulling from different games that have been localized to English, and you're like, real name or made up name? Which I guess they're all made up, but wow.
I mean, I think DioField Chronicle is going to be the one to do that with. So, yeah.
You know how you can see on a YouTube video, you can see where it's the most replayed, right? Like it shows you where people go back the most.
Yes.
The name section is exactly where it's the most replayed. So you know that everyone else is like, excuse me?
Excuse me?
Hold on.
Watermelon
Yeah.
Andrea? Like how Fried Chickanisha?
Let's I want to remember
It's
some of
just
these
so ridiculous.
when we name our Darkest Dungeon characters, or XCOM characters.
You know, I'm not mad at
Yes.
Iscarion. I kind of like it.
Oh,
Wait,
and
is that the
he's
whole name?
hot,
I'm not
too,
mad at
so-
Scarian.
And I think his nickname was just Iska or something like that. So yeah, he's like the
Better
cute
than
boy.
Carry On.
He's the sniper of the group, so he's gonna be a favorite character for sure. But yeah, it's just ridiculous as far as the names go. The quests are cool so far. Very typical with like Fire Emblem plus Triangle Strategy, but that's my wheelhouse. I can play those games anytime, and that whole combat system, I think, mixes it up just right.
Yeah, I mean, all jokes aside, there are definitely genuinely appealing things about the changing like visual styles of that. Because, like you said, you've got the I was gonna say Broken Age, whatever the 2D style is that we just saw. It starts with a B.
Oh yeah.
All that outside 3D RTS looking stuff, and then the indoor Kingdom Hearts looking stuff, as Odysseus said. Just what an unusual decision to put all those in one game together. But cool. I mean, I'm not knocking it. I'm definitely laughing at the names. Definitely. But cool. So that's the DioField Chronicle, DioField. At least that's spelled like it sounds. Then, unless you have anything else to say about those, We'll go to Chris.
All good.
Chris, let's hear
I
a
got
little bit.
another really weird name for you. John Madden.
Oh, that can't be real. See,
I've
what you've
been
got over here is a flim flam on the left side.
Yep, exactly. So I've been playing around with Madden 23. Doesn't technically come out till Friday, but if you have EA Plus or EA Play, you can download a free trial. And also, if you spent money on like the more expensive game version of the game, you just have the game now.
Nice.
So what I did, and this is so dumb, and I just want to throw this out here. They did this last year as well. The PC version of the game is the last gen version of the game. Why? I have no fucking idea. The only thing I can think is that Madden and FIFA sell game consoles.
Yeah.
And it's the only reason why the old, like the last gen versions are the PC versions. There's no other reason why. It makes zero sense otherwise. But what I think is they know that a lot of sports gamers are casuals, and what they'll do is they will just buy a brand new PlayStation 5 or a new Xbox to play the new Madden, the new FIFA, whatever.
Yeah.
So I think that's what's going on there. But either way, it's stupid. I hopped on, started playing it on PC, and I was like, they fucking did it again. Why'd they do this?
Mhm.
Why did they do this? And then I started playing it on PlayStation 5 because it plays $5. So not a big deal to get a 10-hour trial of the game, which is great. Yeah, it's really good. It's the collision stuff, which they're showing in this trailer right now, is crazy and weird and different. Like, it's not you run into somebody and they don't react. It's like there's like actual detection. There's each individual like depending on how many people collide, it's all different. The passing is wildly different now. You can like place where the ball is going to land. It's very they're really leaning into it being a skill-based game, whereas before you kind of relied on Madden jank. You would know what the game would be able to do and what it can't do, and you would just take advantage of that over and over. But with the new way you can like place the ball to receivers and stuff, they're definitely trying to make it a like seriously skill based game, which makes for way more interesting situations and makes it much more difficult. Luckily, the Chiefs have a great quarterback, so it's not too hard. But if you're not playing as the Chiefs, or you're playing with a team that has a lesser quarterback, it is more difficult. I noticed that there is a skill gap, and they'll definitely be able to see that with like some high level players, like being able to place the ball wherever they want, and like really figuring out how that stuff works. And but yeah, so far it's cool. I know they've made some really big changes to franchise mode, which is the thing that people have been screaming for years. They've basically been releasing the same game for like 3 years or 4 years.
Well, yeah. I mean,
9 or 13.
Yeah.
Probably, but
No, not quite that bad. But it's basically been the same game, like same mechanics, like same layout and everything for the past like few years. This is the first one where they've like actively changed what's going on. And like even the presentation looks better.
They gave all the characters guns.
They gave them all guns.
It's crazy.
It's real weird.
Now that's why they call it American football.
They do this really great thing when you first boot up the game, because John Madden just passed. So they do this really great thing at the very beginning of the game, doing John Madden's like legacy game. And they do a really cool thing with that where it's like his favorite players from like all eras on either side, AFC, NFC, and then like 2 different versions of John Madden on the sidelines.
Nice.
And then they use like some old commentary from older games of John like talking about players in the game. So it's very, very cool. It's like this very little like tribute to hey, this guy like changed football, changed video like sports video games forever. Um, and so they, they gave him this nice like tribute at the beginning, and it's like there's an unskippable like little cutscene of John being, like lifted up on his player's shoulders, and it says "Thanks, Coach" and stuff like that. So it's very very sweet that they did that stuff. But
Nice. That actually sounds like a really fun game to play the that specific Madden tribute.
yeah,
I
and
I
it,
don't want to play as Brett Favre though, so I'm guessing he's the
AFC
yeah
baby.
yeah.
So yeah, it's really good. It's they finally are making changes, which is what everybody's been screaming for forever. The changes they aren't making are frustrating on the PC side. It's like I guess like people that play sports games don't play on PC. Like I guess
Yeah.
that's the moral of the story.
Yeah.
And that apparently Madden and FIFA and stuff still sells consoles.
Yeah.
So don't let anybody tell you that they don't, because they definitely do.
They definitely
also-
do.
In that trailer, they are doing that with a Twitch streamer that has 1.5 million followers on Twitch, and all he streams is Madden. It's like that. That's insane.
Yeah.
That shit is insane.
I was like briefly, loosely involved with a community that mostly was built around sports games a few years ago. And I quickly realized, because they wanted to be more inclusive to all gamers, but I quickly realized that they didn't know what that meant. Because they themselves, the people running the organization, didn't know basically any games outside of sports. And
Right.
like one time I was like, I'll just bring, I'll throw them a soft one, or, throw them a slow ball. And I was like, yeah, something Skyrim. That game's pretty cool. And nobody responded. And I was like, okay, well, no big deal. And then somebody pops in and says, what's that? And I was like, oh, well, it's this. And somebody pops in, and somebody else jumps in, and they're like, why are you talking about this here? Nobody even has heard of that game or something. And it was just like, I don't even know what that game is. I'm just like, okay, well, I think I'm in the wrong place. I don't
Yep.
think I have nothing to say about Madden or NBA 2K, so I'll see you guys later.
Yeah.
But I like out of hundreds of people, almost no one in that group owned a PC, which
Yeah.
like wasn't that big of a surprise until I really saw the way everyone was talking about. Like that group was even big into the console war stuff, which I hadn't seen in a while. But
Because we have evolved beyond it.
yeah, right. I just thought that was really fascinating because I hadn't fully, dunked my head into a community like that to see what it was like. Because as someone who doesn't play sports games, it's kind of esoteric to me, right? But you're 1,000% right. These games sell consoles, but I wasn't expecting you to tell me that that the game was a last gen version.
Well, they did that. They've done it 2 years in a row on PC now, where you're like, oh, I'm excited to see like at least the graphical and like presentation changes.
The
And
sweat.
you go to PC and it's PlayStation 4, and you're like, okay, well, that's not like one of the main things that they're like touting this year is like bodies and equipment is different. So like what would happen in like last gen and even sort of like the last year's PlayStation 5 version is a lot of like a offensive lineman and a running back might look really similar, or they might have like giant shoulder pads, which that's not a thing. You know what I mean?
Unless you're playing World of Warcraft, then
Right, exactly. And as soon as I booted it up on PC, everyone had giant fucking shoulder pads, and I was like, what?
What is this?
And then I realized that it's the last gen version, and like, yeah, it's just always in sports games, it's always going to be like incremental like steps to like change it, right? Because they want it to feel similar to the fans that have loved it for a long time, but they want to like make iterations that keep it fresh.
Yep.
Madden has not done that in a while, and I feel like at least on the next gen versions of the game, they've done that, where it still feels like, oh, like this isn't that much different. But when I was like trying to play earlier, I was like, oh wow, this new passing system is something else. This is going to take a minute to sink in and like fully grasp and wrap my head around. And it's just different skill level.
Well,
Although definitely guarantee if you don't check highlight reel by next week, it's gonna be just full of some amazing glitch
Some
videos.
goofy shit. Yeah. Oh, totally. Because it's like pre-release too, so I'm sure there's going to be a lot of weird shit and really funny things happening. I had a funny thing happen today where the cornerback jumped up and tried to knock the ball down. And when he tried to knock the ball down, it like made the ball spin up in the air, and the receiver just caught it wide open and just ran it in for a touchdown. I was like, well, that's not how that works at all. That's
Yeah.
not how that's supposed to happen at all.
Real
It's
life.
just some
Madden jank.
simulation jank. Yep. But yeah, it was pretty funny. So.
Heck yeah. Okay. Well, I think that's all we've got. Saab, did you talk about Rumbleverse at all?
I haven't.
Let's hear about that, and then I think that's a wrap.
Yeah. So Chris had touched on it a little bit earlier, how it's that Fortnite looking ass melee based like brawling battle royale. It reminds me a lot of actually Knockout City, just without dodgeballs.
Mhm.
There are items that you could throw in it. You could throw your weapons that you pick up. You could pick up like bats and here's a chair, an iron chair.
There, I'm not sure.
The stop signs and things. Like there are lots of things that you can do to better equip yourself for battle. But what's really neat about it is that it's got all these different body types and skin tones, which is something that I really appreciated in Knockout City. Um, Ironically, I am wearing a Knockout City shirt today. I haven't played it recently, but they've got, slender, like medium and brawny builds for both body types, which are masculine and feminine presenting. They have different hairstyles and everything that you can unlock. There's like piercings and makeups and all these different costumes that you can wear. So it's just another game that you can really express yourself in, and that's something that I always appreciate in games like this. Just because you can just be whatever you want. It's really nice to not be able to be beholden to um, you know conventions and stuff that games like this usually have to offer, especially in games like Fortnite, where you're locked to a model rather than being able to customize.
Yeah.
But they have a lot of really diverse models in Fortnite now. But what I really enjoy about Rumbleverse is that it's like a wrestly brawly battle royale, but there's also like a layer of strategy to it in that you have different protein powders that you chug to build out your stats. So there's a green one which augments your health, a yellow one which augments your stamina, and a red one which augments your power. And there are up to 10 different slots. You level up within the game, and then you unlock up to 10 different um, slots that you can dole these out in. And of course, the battle royale element, you have to go around and find all your equipment, your weapons, your stat boosts, and everything. Your loadout also consists of different kinds of moves. So there are, pile drivers. There's the Izuna drop, which is known as like the Flying Lotus in the Naruto realm. There are different kinds of tackles and throws and kicks and everything that you can load out your characters, all available at different rarities. So, you'll have the green, which is the weakest, the blue, which is the next strongest, the purple, which is the strongest. And I remember them being in like the old tests, but there were golden versions of moves that I have not yet seen um, as of this broadcast. So I'm not sure if they patched those out, if they got rid of them, or rehabilitated them somewhere else. Um, but there are lots of different ways that you can kit out your character. You can have like 4 power, 4 stamina, 2 health, or any variation of those numbers, or any other numbers within 1 to 10 of each item. You can go no health boost. And those do augment your regeneration rates at which you regenerate your stamina, etc. There are also different perks that you unlock just from fighting. So such perks include meditation. So if you're standing still, you'll automatically regenerate health. There's one that's called sadistic, where you regain health by doing damage. There's one where I can't remember what it's called, but you get an increase, like a 20% increase in your power, like in your damage from your attacks, after taking damage yourself. Those ones are randomized. I'm not sure if you can influence which ones appear by doing specific actions, but as far as I've seen, they're randomized.
Mhm.
And you can always check out what they do, like on the pause screen or whatever, when you're checking the mini map and everything.
Ha!
So
Is
if you're
that a
not,
joke? Because that character's wearing a cat suit.
oh, I'm not even watching the trailer. That's just perfect timing. But no, there's a lot of different customization as far as appearance and loadout of your character that you could do. So it's more than just picking up a gun and shooting. As far as battle royales have tended to be.
You're mostly
Um,
bonking.
it's mostly bonking or tackling. There is a ring that does shrink, as is the battle royale norm. But instead of taking damage from this ring, there's a timer that counts down from 10. So in true like boxing wrestling match fashion, if you reach 0, you're out, just automatically eliminated. And it does rebuild over time. So if you spend time inside the ring, it does reset to its it gradually build out to its 10. And some people opt to go for strategies that keep people out of the ring rather than just outright knocking them out.
Mhm.
As well, there is a superstar mode that, when activated, slowly regenerates health, your stamina, as well, and also gives you the super mega ultimative move that you can do that does like a million damage. I mean, not that much, but basically, it might as well. um, it could be used as a last resort as well, because if you don't use it offensively, and you keep onto that the star power gauge, uh, it respawns you when you're downed, at like a third of health or something like that. So lots of different ways to approach your combat, how to approach your strategies and everything. In the new release, this newest release of it, they added duo mode. Before, you can always invite your friends, but they couldn't play with you, so that was
Oh,
weird. But now they have duo modes, and you're able to resuscitate your teammates that way, and it's only a second. It's so fast.
wow.
Yeah, it's not a lot of health, but you could just instant.
Instantly
It's
back in. Wow.
yeah.
That's cool. So, like going with the wrestling theme, it's all about just getting up, like not necessarily, being a full health when you get back, but just not being on your back on the ground. Um, what an interesting concept. I would be interested to see that in action because I've really only watched this trailer.
Yeah, if you're interested in Rumbleverse, you may also be interested in Journey Pro Wrestling out of Kansas City.
Not the plug.
We have a show August 26th at Lemonade Park. You should come out. It'll be a great time. Weekend at Journeys too.
Yeah, go get them.
Chris is actually going to go get them.
I'm gonna go
that's
get
the
them.
whole
I'm
point.
coming.
It's like I
to your
will
house.
throw you over my shoulder, carry you to the ring.
Drag you to the show. You will have a blast.
You will have a
Do
blast.
it.
I
Okay,
wish I was in
I'm
Kansas
from the
City.
sound of this right now, so
I wish I could go check that out in person. Yeah, I have more to say, but I'll save that for later. I just wrestling's a lot of fun, and I like seeing the stuff you share, Chris, about people experiencing their first wrestling shows. Being like, wow, I expected one thing, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
It was a totally different, amazing thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I shared what this great promoter in Colorado who I've become friends with. He made a post. He has this show called Lucha Libre Laughs, where it's professional wrestling and stand up comedy merged together. So basically, they'll like have a stand up to open, and then they'll do a bunch of wrestling, and stand up comedians do the commentary.
Oh, that's fun.
It's very fun.
kind of a
But
celebrity showdown.
yeah, it's very fun. And he made a post. He says, "I truly love when people come to their first wrestling show expecting a freak show. It's not for them. They think, then it clicks. They connect to it. They see themselves in the stars of the show: black, white, brown, gay, straight, trans, NB, etc. They connect. They boo and cheer their hearts out. They learn that wrestling is for them because wrestling is for everybody." It's like that is
I mean, I
very
haven't
good.
watched wrestling since Doink was a thing.
What?
Yeah.
When is Doink not a thing?
He was a clown character in the early
90s.
90s.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Doink. That's the last guy. I mean,
Lol.
I've seen images of wrestlers because obviously I have. So I know who Roman Reigns is, and I know who I know of course about Batista. I actually knew about him as a wrestler before I knew about him as an actor. Um, and I know some of the people. I know about the man who is in fact a woman. You know, I know, of course, I know about her because she's a ginger. So I keep up, just very sparsely. So I just haven't actually watched any wrestling since the 90s.
Well,
But yeah, Rumbleverse is a lot of fun. If you like wrestling at all, if you like beating people up with like crazy over the top moves in a Fortnite looking ass game, try it out. It's free. The battle pass is not out yet. That's one of my drawbacks about the game is that there's not really motivation to play outside of just playing like its crazy funness itself. There is like a leveling system, but there's no in-game currency to earn. There's no battle pass as of yet. The only thing that you can use to buy skins in the shops are premium money, which is called Brawler Bills, which I find hilarious.
Brawler
Bills, that's
Bills.
But they're coins.
Oh, why even?
Yeah. Yeah.
What's the point?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
So, but the game is fun. The game. And it's a very short burst of time too. You're not spending like 30, 40 minutes per match like in Fortnite, because I think Fortnite has like 100 people, right, per lobby,
Mhm.
something like that.
Yeah.
And then Rumbleverse has like 40 people per lobby. So it's
That's nice.
a nice little short burst of fun if you're into it, which you should be, because it's fun.
Well, perfect. Well, that's then gonna do it for the podcast section of the show. Stick around because we're gonna play a little bit of Shredder's Revenge, finish that up from the subathon, and then play Escape Academy. Gotta make sure I get that right. Escape Academy.
That's
We're gonna watch Vilos and Chris play that. But Vilos, can you tell everybody where they can find us online?
Oh, well, if they want to find everything, they need to go to www.partyinvite.games. That is where we have the occasional blog, like my backlog series that's going right now, and we have all of our links to our community. The Discord, in particular, is the place to be. And I did actually edit up the buttons and stuff on the site, so it looks a little nicer.
Heck yeah,
Ooh,
Did that
button
secretly the other
update.
day.
fancy.
Nice.
shiny
Party
and new.
Invite.com's 1.1. Hey.
And then we have some fun stuff. You're gonna see some more daily posts like we used to have on our socials, especially in our Facebook group and our Discord. We had a poll this week that was, what is your if you have the choice of 3 weapons, do you choose a versatile weapon like a sword and shield? Do you choose something fast like a dagger, or a two-hander, something slow? And last I checked, versatile and fasty boys were neck and neck. They've gone back and forth, but not
Fancy boy.
not as much love for the two-handers. But honestly, not a surprise. Everybody likes a fast weapon. But go vote on that. I think next week we're gonna do a poll on ranged weapons, and after that,
Ooh.
I think I'm gonna start pulling some stuff out. So we'll end up having a whole bracket of like, what is the community really like? What is their go-to, like weapon, or like what's your favorite? Here are 3 choices of a Pokemon type. Or one I'll have later is like, do you prefer like stun and status effects? Do you prefer an increase in direct damage or damage over time? Stuff like that. And we'll kind of build a picture of what the community prefers as
This is fun. I'm
their
really excited
loadouts.
about the prospect of this.
Yeah,
great.
so check our socials. Those will go up on Tuesdays for anybody who's curious. But let's wrap this up. Thanks, everybody, for watching. We're going to take a short little break. We'll be back with the game, which, of course, you can find on our Twitch VOD or on YouTube. But we'll talk to you in a few minutes. Bye.
Bye.